Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Vixenafterdark. Thank you so much for staying tuned in, tapped and turned on. I'm your host, Letitia Vanderhorst. Alright, so today we are talking about Saturn in Aries. Now, Saturn has been in Aries since February 14th, and we're going deeper because Saturn didn't walk into Aries alone. We also have Neptune and Chiron are in this sign too, and that changes everything. So if you want to understand how this will affect your rising sign, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click the bell. All right. Now, the first entry of when Saturn was in Aries started on May 24th of 2025, and then it retrograded back into Pisces September 1st, 2025. And then the final entry was February 13th of 2026. So now it's in Aries, okay, as of the 14th. It's going to leave Aries in the next 2 years, okay? So this is a 2-year accountability boot camp. Why does all of this matter? Well, Saturn's rings are literally boundaries made visible, okay? Ice, rock, debris, structure. Translation? Well, life only respects you when you build some form of structure around yourself. If there's no boundaries, then there's chaos. If there's boundaries, then there's authority, okay? So Saturn in Aries is teaching us discipline creates identity, not vibes, not affirmations, straight behavior. Now, if you guys have a Saturn return, Saturn returns usually happen around age 27 to age 30, and then it happens again between ages 56 to 60, I believe, okay? So it's going to force you to answer a few questions. Who are you really? What have you built? And what are you avoiding? Okay. And what are you responsible for now? All right. Remember, Saturn doesn't punish. It just exposes what's immature. Okay. So having Saturn in Aries return specifically, it's really to test a few things, right? It's going to test your self-trust. It's going to test your courage. It's going to test your independence. It's going to test your leadership skills. It's going to test your anger control. It's going to really test decision making. Okay, so if you're in a Saturn return right now, you're just being pushed into adulthood 2.0. So the last time Saturn was in Aries was 1996 to 1999. All right, let me check my notes here. And then 1967 to 1969, okay? And the themes that actually happened were just military shifts. We had new leadership eras. We had technology entrepreneurship beginnings, like the internet boom. We had a cultural rebellion, I believe, and also DIY culture, okay? A lot of youth independence movements were occurring during that time. So the pattern typically, AKA, is saying society resets who's in charge, okay? So on a collective standpoint, you gotta keep game on the fact that Saturn equals pressure, reality, consequences, okay? And then Aries energy is more about action, identity, courage, selfish survival instincts. And you put all of that together, it feels like you can't fake confidence anymore, okay? It's giving, people getting called out for just pretending. Leadership roles are being forced on people who weren't ready. Anger might start rising because the truth is uncomfortable, and the motivation mixed with a little bit of frustration might come into the mix. Now, what does this look like on a global standpoint? Well, since February 14th, I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of movement, right? I know it's only a few days in, but you're going to start seeing maybe people are going to start quitting their job suddenly just to start something, okay? Friendships might break because boundaries are finally showing up. Bodies might start reacting to stress, headaches, inflammation, burnout. It's that energy of I'm tired of waiting energy. It's going to be everywhere, okay? So this initiation is going to be through a lot of pressure. So people might start to experience identity breakdowns, okay? Your career might even pivot. Your relationships might end. Your physical body, like your muscles, your head, you're going to start, getting the ascension symptoms, okay? And some people might have anger surfacing from old wounds. And some people are just going to have the entire desire to start completely over, okay? So It's going to feel like, I don't even know who you are anymore. Like, that's the energy. And that's good because that means the false version is dying, okay? What's typically being exposed for everybody while Saturn in Aries with other planets here as well? I would say people might avoid responsibility. They might fear taking the initiative on something. They might need a whole group of people. So dependency on others for direction might be a theme as well. You see this playing out already on a global standpoint, okay? A lot of people can't make a move unless we have thousands of other people to make a move to make a change. There could be some passive personalities pretending to be leaders. There could be some ego getting stroked without having any discipline. So there's going to be a lot of big talk, but no execution. So that's going to get humbled real quick. Now, why does all of this matter? Okay. Well, think about it. Aries starts the zodiac, right? So Saturn here, this is a new 29-year cycle for humanity. Okay. It's the grow up and move era. If you ignore this energy, you might feel stuck, angry, blocked, rejected, delayed. But if you use this energy, you can really build authority that lasts for decades, okay? Saturn wants mastery, but you can't master a fake identity. So Neptune, being in Aries, is going to remove those illusions first. We also have Chiron here, so Chiron's going to expose all of those wounds. And then with Saturn sitting here, is going to say, okay, here you go. Here's the green light. Now build the real you. That's why some people may feel a little bit lost right now in the direction in which they want to go, okay? Because it's literally demolition before the construction, okay? Now, if you hear surface astrology on the internet, they say Saturn is bad. They say Aries is aggressive and angry. Well, that's a lazy interpretation, okay? Saturn is just mastery through repetition. And then you have Aries, which is giving you the courage to really begin something new, okay? So this transit is literally saying master your courage right now, okay? But most people were taught to fear Saturn, so they stay passive and controllable. You know, fearful people don't lead, right? Disciplined people do, okay? Now, let's kind of talk about the Neptune and Chiron, because I just threw that in there. But if you think about it, so Saturn is the reality, Neptune is the illusion, and then you have Chiron, which is all the wounds. And if they're all in Aries, that's literally identity surgery, okay? So this might not be a cute transit, but it's pretty much saying, you know, who you think you are versus who you actually are. And so life is really forcing the truth to come out in all aspects of life right now. Let's break it down, okay? Neptune and Aries, right? So the illusion of identity. Neptune is definitely going to dissolve all of the lies. I know you see this playing out, okay? So it's a lot of fake confidence, you know, ego without skill, acting tough but scared inside, following trends instead of knowing yourself, instead of doing your due diligence and investigation, spiritual bypassing instead of action. So collectively, there could be confusion about the direction in which we're going. You know, there could be sudden awakenings about your purpose. There could be identity crises. People could start quitting things that never felt right. You know, there could be anger mixed with some form of inspiration. This is how songwriters make probably the best songs, okay? So someone could realize that the career that they have right now isn't for them, you know? Influencers start losing credibility. Leaders are starting to get exposed as frauds. You know, people changing their appearance, style, their personality literally overnight, okay? So with Neptune and Aries, it's really asking, are you living your life or a programmed one? And then to have Chiron in Aries, that's the wound of existing, right? So Chiron in Aries is exposing the core human wound. Am I not enough as I am? So this is going to show up as fear of rejection, fear of being seen, you know, overcompensating confidence, anger with a little bit of insecurity, comparing yourself to other people, avoiding leadership. But Chiron also creates healers. So the people who felt powerless become the ones who teach strength during this time. So if you add up Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron all together, That's having a forced, authentic lane off rip right there. So this combo is a rare energy, meaning a lot of illusions are breaking, Neptune. A lot of wounds are getting exposed. That's Chiron. And then there's a lot of structure that's going to be demanded through Saturn, okay? So translation, you really can't pretend anymore. You either become real or life pressures you until you do. So what happens if you ignore this? Well, you'll see a lot of burnout. You'll see a lot of frustration, people feeling stuck, lack of direction, repeating cycles, because you're trying to keep an identity that has expired. But if you use this energy, you start to become more confident, okay? You make clearer decisions. You start to become independent, respected. You have strong boundaries, and you are more so focused on your purpose, your mission. This is the leadership training that we're all probably going to go through. So let's kind of talk about that on a personal standpoint. Where is this hitting for you as far as your rising signs, okay? So it's kind of as if all of us are being forced to grow in a specific area of life. So I'll go through the houses with you guys as well. So Aries rising, this is going to happen in your first house. So you're definitely going to get an identity overhaul. You're going to become somebody new. So stop asking for permission and act before you feel ready, honey, okay? Taurus rising, this is going to be happening in your 12th house. So a lot of mental patterns, a lot of subconscious fears are going to surface. So the old version of you is definitely going to die. So you want to make sure that you rest, do a little bit of therapy, spiritual hygiene, and release any type of baggage that you may have. Gemini rising, this is happening in your 11th house. So your friend groups are definitely going to change. Your goals are going to mature, and you might outgrow some people in your life right now. So choose quality over popularity, all right? Cancer rising, this is going to be happening in your 10th house. So you might have some career pressure right now. You know, you might have some authority tests that might occur. You might even have some leadership opportunities as well. So stop hiding your ambition, all right? Leo rising, this is happening in your 9th house. So your belief systems are definitely going to be challenged. You know, education is a theme, travel is a theme, truth is going to be a theme. So you're probably going to be redefining your philosophy. So learn something that's definitely going to expand you during this time. Virgo rising, this is going to be hitting your 8th house. So a lot of money entanglements, debt, intimacy, power dynamics might be a theme. Okay, so there's going to be some deep transformation. So I would make sure you face any financial reality head on. Okay. Libra rising is happening in your 7th house. So of course your relationships might be tested. There's going to be some commitment, or there might be some endings. Okay, so just stop tolerating any imbalances that you may have in your ships that you're sailing. Scorpio rising, this is going to be happening in your 6th house. So your health, your routines, and your work habits are going to be the area of focus for you. So I would say this is your discipline era in those areas, okay? So make sure that you fix your daily structure during this time. Sag rising, this is happening in your 5th house. So this is creativity, dating, self-expression. So fear of being seen is going to start dissolving, I would say. So you might want to start creating something publicly. Okay, Capricorn rising, this is happening in your 4th house. So your home, your family, your emotional foundation, your roots, everything's going to get a restructure. So this is the time to really build a stable base for yourself. Okay, Aquarius rising, this is happening in your 3rd house. So your communication, your skills, your mindset, you're going to start mastering your voice during this time. So you want to make sure you speak clearly, but also learn consistently as well. Okay. Pisces rising, this is happening in your 2nd house. So your money, your self-worth, and your resources are going to get the flashlight on those. So financial maturity time, okay? So value yourself in the proper ways. Now, how do you know if all of this is working and you're utilizing this energy to your advantage? Well, you'll start to notice that you have a less tolerance for bullshit. You'll start to make some clearer decisions. You'll start to notice that you have stronger boundaries. You know, you have progress, but it could be very slow. And you're going to start seeing more respect from other people, okay? Because Saturn rewards consistency, not speed, all right? And if you guys keep asking for things to get easier, right? But the pressure is in the training, okay? Remember, your soul plan overrides all the cycles, but cycles expose where you're not aligned with it, okay? So your identity is going to start changing through behavior repetition, not affirmations, not thinking, but just taking straight action, okay? And some of you want clarity before movement, but clarity comes after the movement. Now, reminder, do something every day that the old version of you was scared to do. Walk in your north node. Speak up, start, decide, and lead, okay? You either become who you're meant to be or you repeat that insecurity all over again. Like I always say, you already know what to do. So what I do want to do is pull a few cards, okay, to see what we need to focus on while Saturn is in the sign of Aries. Now, if you guys want a full reading, follow my Vixen Oracles channel. You'll get timeless readings there. I also do love, relationships, money, and career, all the above. But let's just get a quick focus. What we will see play out. What areas of focus will occur while Saturn is in Aries? Let's see what we got going on. Oh, what we got going on, going on. All right, so remember, Saturn is the planet of discipline, okay? And it's just really forcing us to get it together. So there will be, you know, we may withdraw from a few things while Saturn is in Aries, okay? We may need just to relax. We might withdraw from negative energy, okay? We may need to recuperate while putting all this time, effort, and energy. We might need to recover, so make sure you are resting, okay? Some of us may lose a few things, or some misunderstandings could occur. There could be some pain or heartbreak. Also, we could be disappointed at certain times. Not everything is peaches and creams and rainbows and popsicle sticks, okay? So there's going to be some power imbalances that could occur as well. So make sure we are releasing our emotions in a healthy way. We do have the Eight of Wands here as well. So some of us could be approaching a lot of our goals much faster during this time, okay? We might take some fast action. A lot of Aries energy going on here, okay? We could bring in some good news, you know, some incoming messages could be coming in. We also have the Two of Cups. You know, we could start to come in harmony with one another. I know I seen a post the other day where it said all of the gangs are coming together in LA to get ICE out of here, or whatever that may be. That's harmony, right? So this even could be love, mutual attraction could be coming in for you, friendships, new romances. However you see that fit coming in this while Saturn is in Aries for the next couple of years, okay? Now, I do have the Page of Wands, so we're going to gain some confidence here, okay? We're going to gain some energy to get these things done. A lot of people are going to be tapping more into their spirituality, being a little bit more adventurous as well. We're going to be exploring a lot of new projects and plans and more good news, okay, when the Page of Wands comes in. So with the Ten of Swords, there will be an ending, okay? There will be some endings to certain cycles that we may see on a global standpoint, on a personal standpoint, you know, so we might be releasing some things. That means there's a bright horizon coming out of all of this, okay? Remember, there's always going to be a little bit of chaos and destruction before anything new can come in. It's like things are making space. And with the Two of Swords here, we're definitely going to have some difficult choices to make on how to move forward. But it's going to be a new beginning, right? So utilize your intuition and also be patient. You could be waiting for things to occur, okay? Especially with that Six of Swords here, there's a lot of transformational energy that could be there. It's going from difficult to calm, right? So a lot of healing could be in the mix as well. Healing is a never-ending journey, all right? And we do also have the Eight of Cups here, okay? So some people, you might leave I would say leave something or walk away from something or abandon something, or something may change. A lot of change and detachment, probably from an old version of you or things that you used to do. But all that means is when you leave something else, it's a form of seeking a higher meaning or higher wisdom in a specific area of life. Okay, a lot of 8s on the board here. We do have a lot of 2s, like literally do you. Okay, with the 8s, that's a lot of abundance coming in, an infinite amount of opportunities as well. And with that cycle of 10, we're closing out chapters and starting new ones. Okay, so don't forget, go to Vixen Oracles for a full spread. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.